She annihilated him on live television. The full story of how Trump's young spokesperson demolished Jimmy Kimmel's career in a single interview, and why this changes everything. No one expected this. A young woman walked into Jimmy Kimmel's studio and walked out with his career in a body bag. In less than 10 minutes, she dismantled every liberal talking point he had. This wasn't an interview. It was a public execution. Imagine the scene. A typical evening in Hollywood, where the lights are bright, the jokes are pre-written, and the audience is expected to laugh on cue. For years, Jimmy Kimmel has ruled over this predictable kingdom, a late-night landscape carefully curated to mock, ridicule, and dismiss conservative thought. His monologues have become ritualistic performances, a nightly dance of smug one-liners that reinforce the biases of a liberal-leaning audience. He's the jester in a modern court of elite opinion, shielded by applause, ratings, and media insiders, who never expected anyone to truly challenge his throne. That is, until a storm named Karoline Leavitt entered the arena, not just to push back, but to upend everything. This wasn't just television. This was the start of something seismic, a moment that would peel back the curtain on mainstream media bias and leave millions questioning who really owns the narrative in American culture. From the second Karoline Leavitt appeared on set, everything changed. The energy in the studio, once playful and predictable, shifted into something electric and uncertain. The cameras rolled, but the usual script was about to be torn to pieces. Leavitt, dressed sharply in a crimson power suit that radiated both confidence and warning, didn't just walk onto that stage, she claimed it. Every movement, every glance, carried the weight of someone who knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't intimidated by the setting. She wasn't charmed by the fame. She saw right through it. Meanwhile, Kimmel settled into his chair with the familiar arrogance of a man used to being the smartest person in the room. He smiled, chuckled at his own jokes, and tried to reduce her to just another conservative talking head. But he didn't realize he wasn't facing a PR puppet. He was facing a media assassin with a mission to dismantle everything his show represents. Kimmel kicked things off with what he thought was safe terrain. Trump jokes, lazy swipes about golf, exaggerated commentary on policy decisions, and that familiar liberal sneer that tries to reduce political opposition to punchlines. But then came the turning point, a moment that would echo through social media and newsrooms for days. With a calm, measured voice, Leavitt looked him dead in the eye and said, "You're very good at telling jokes, Jimmy. But let's talk about what actually matters to American families." In that single sentence, she didn't just reject the tone of the conversation. She redefined it. She wasn't there to banter. She was there to reveal. Suddenly, it wasn't Kimmel's show anymore. It was hers. With precise delivery, she began citing hard data, economic numbers, job creation stats, demographic breakdowns, all of it delivered with a clarity and calm that made Kimmel's smirking look increasingly out of place. This wasn't comedy. This was a reckoning. As the interview unfolded, the cracks in Kimmel's armor became undeniable. His usual tools, sarcasm, subject shifts, audience pandering, failed him one by one. He tried awkward segues, weak self-deprecation, "I'm not an economist," and even glances to the audience for reassurance. But it wasn't working. The applause lines had vanished. The studio, once his stronghold, had turned into neutral ground, and worse, the crowd was now rooting for her. Leavitt's composure never broke. In fact, she pressed harder, exposing how shallow and ill-informed Kimmel's positions truly were. "You sit in that chair night after night making jokes about policies you clearly don't understand," she said sharply. "But have you ever talked to the factory workers in Pennsylvania? Have you listened to the single mothers in Michigan?" The room went quiet, and then thunderous applause. This wasn't just a talking point. This was lived reality, being voiced with a power that no joke could silence. Then something happened that no one expected. The audience, a crowd usually prepped to cheer on liberal commentary, began to turn. Applause lines started going to Leavitt. Chants of "Trump, Trump" broke out, unprompted and unplanned. MAGA signs suddenly appeared in the crowd like a political flash mob. It wasn't just a momentary disruption, it was a full-blown revolt inside one of liberal media's most sacred spaces. Kimmel, now visibly shaken, tried to joke it off. Maybe I should bring a spreadsheet next time. But it was too late. He had been outclassed, outmaneuvered, and outcommunicated. And worse, it had all happened live, on his show, on his stage, in front of his audience. The impact was immediate and massive. Social media platforms ignited like wildfire. Within minutes, clips from the interview went viral, racking up millions of views on X, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Leavitt destroys Kimmel trended at #1 worldwide, dwarfing any media campaign ABC had ever launched for its host. Right-wing influencers, political commentators, and average Americans alike flooded the digital space with praise for Leavitt's performance. Donald Trump himself posted on Truth Social, "Karoline Leavitt was absolutely magnificent tonight. Jimmy Kimmel got destroyed by the truth and he'll never recover. The MAGA 2025. On the other side, ABC and Kimmel's team went radio silent. No post, no spin. Just the stunned silence of an empire that had taken a direct hit. So what made this moment so powerful? Why did it resonate across age, class, and party lines? Because it wasn't just about one woman embarrassing one host. It was a shift in the cultural balance of power. Karoline Leavitt didn't just come armed with talking points. She brought authenticity, real-world knowledge, and emotional intelligence. She was funny when she needed to be, fierce when it mattered, and articulate at every turn. Her victory exposed 3 critical truths. 1. That smug elitism is no match for real conviction. 2. That Americans are sick of fake, surface-level debates. And 3. That conservative voices, when prepared and confident, can dominate in hostile media environments. This was more than an interview. It was a blueprint, a playbook for how to finally break the media monopoly on truth. What do you think? Now, the question is yours to answer. Did this moment mark the beginning of a new era for conservative voices in mainstream media? Can this bold, no-nonsense style become the gold standard for how Republicans communicate in hostile territory? Or was it just the perfect storm, a moment where preparation met opportunity and changed everything in an instant? Whatever your take, one thing is certain: the rules have changed. Forever. So now we want to hear from you. Was Karoline Leavitt's viral takedown the moment legacy media finally lost its grip? Could this style of political engagement be the key to restoring balance in public discourse? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more moments like this that challenge the narrative and speak truth to power.